Okay, so hello and very good evening. We'll be starting today's session. Tanu,
Yes, sir.
yeah, please turn your camera and tell me the
Okay,
name
sir.
of your task.
Sir, set up Amazon simple email service.
Yeah, you can start. Yeah, I have allowed the screen share.
Okay, sir. Is my screen visible to you, sir?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, sir. So, good evening, everyone. Myself, Tanu, from AWS Cloud Computing Department. My project name is Cloud Infrastructure Operation, and my task name is Set up Amazon Simple Email Service. So, today I'm going to show you and present you a PPT that how to create a setup Amazon simple email service. So first of all, I will be giving you explanation that why we were using a simple email service in Amazon. So the answer is that the Amazon simple email service is basically designed for developers and business to send their emails to their customers in cost effective way and in scalable way. Amazon simple email service offers a flexible and set of features that can be used to send emails in transactional emails or marketing emails or any other type of communication. The main point is that of simple email service is that we can send up to 50,000 per message per day in a cost effective way. So this is the reason that why we were using and why we were creating the Amazon simple email service. So let's start. So these are the list of contents that I am discussing one by one. So first of all, the introduction I will be describing. Then after that, what are the benefit of the Amazon simple email service? After that, getting started with Amazon simple email service, I will be giving you the live demonstration that how to configure the simple email service in Amazon. Then after that, what are the common challenges and what are the solution to overcome these troubleshoot or the problems which affecting in simple email service. And the last, I will be giving the conclusion that what we have studied. So yeah, this is the means. What do you understand by Amazon Simple Email Service? Amazon Simple Email Service is a fully managed service provided at an email platform which can arrange effective way to send and receive emails to your own email address and domain. So see this the diagram I have uh, attached. In this we can see that how the Amazon Simple Email Service works in Amazon. So this is the flow of diagram that how it works. So now coming to the benefit of Amazon simple email service. So the first point is that high deliverability. What do you mean by high deliverability? High deliverability in Amazon simple email service means that the emails sent through simple email service are more likely to reach their reception box, being filtered out the spams or the junk email. So this is the main benefit of the Amazon simple email service. Now the second point is cost effective. What do you understand by the cost effective? In this cost effective, the benefit of the Amazon simple email service, in this it plays a pay as you go model. We have to pay only that what we are utilizing. There are no upfront fees in this. So this is all the main benefit of Amazon simple service. Now coming to the third point, which is configurable. It is also the main benefit of the Amazon simple email service. It refers to the setting and the control that how to configure and how to set the email message. So this is the third main point of the benefit of Amazon simple email service. And the last is the main point is reliable. Reliability in Amazon simple email service refer to the availability of the simple email service to send mail consistently and without any interruption. So these are the four main points and four main benefits of the Amazon simple email service. So now next, so here I will be discussing that how to configure the Amazon simple email service. So in this, there are the two steps that how to configure. So first I will be creating and verifying email address identity, and then after creating and verify domain identity. So now I'm giving the live demonstration that how to configure the Amazon in simple email service. So let's start. Is my screen visible to you, sir?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, sir. So I have to just sign in this AWS console. I have to put the password. So this is the Amazon simple email service dashboard. So what we have to do now, we have to create identity for the email address. So click on this. So first of all, I will be creating identity for the email address. So we have to click on email address. Now we have
I think she's having internet issue. We'll wait for a minute. If she doesn't join, then we'll continue. We'll wait for 1 minute. Okay, Nidhi.
Good evening, everyone.
Please share the screen and also tell me
Yes,
the
sir.
name of your
Yes, sir.
class.
So is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Nidhi. I am from Cloud Computing Group, and my task is to setting up an simple Amazon email service. So let's start. So first of all, we will discuss about the index, what we are going to discuss in the PPT. First of all, I will tell you about what is AWS, what is SES, that means simple email service, then its benefits, then what are the prerequisites, step-by-step guide, monitoring, best practices, and we will end our PPT with a conclusion. So let's start. So first of all, let's talk about what is AWS. So AWS is in simple terms, it's basically a cloud computing platform. Now, what is cloud computing platform? It's actually, you don't need to buy your own servers. Now, what is server? Server is nothing just to have your physical hardware. You need not to have your physical hardware where you will store your data, retrieve it. You have to manage it, its infrastructure, or you have to manage its scalability, security. You don't have to do anything. Simply you just put your data on cloud and everything is available on online. Now, who will provide this cloud? It will be provided with many cloud providers, and one of them is AWS. And others are, for example, it's like Azure given by Microsoft or Google, which is GCP. So AWS is just a cloud computing platform which provides us with cloud computing services. So let's talk about what is Amazon SCS. So it's one of the many services of Amazon which stands for Simple Email Service. Now, what is Simple Email Service? As we know, everyone has their email account through which we can send or receive emails. So similarly, Amazon have its own service where we can send our emails or even can receive it. It's basically a cloud-based email. So, okay, it's one of the service which is given by Amazon. So why do we need Amazon? SES if we have our own AWS, if we have our own email service, so why do we need SES? So here are the benefits, or we can say why do we need Amazon SES? So for example, you have a company and you need to send email to thousands of your customers every single day. So you have to write the email and the content of the email every single day to every customer, if it is 1,000 or even 2,000. It's very tedious job. So, but with the SES, it's highly deliverability. It doesn't matter you have 2 customers or 1,000 or 10,000. It's highly deliverable. It can be just the email that you will write will be sent in within seconds. It don't take that much time. Other than that, second benefit is of scalability. As I already told you, if it doesn't matter, it's a 5 customers or 1,000 or 10,000, it will be, it just handles the large volume emails as well. And now the main reason to use SES is that it's a cost effective. That means you have to pay for how many emails you are sending every single day. If you are sending to 2 customers, you have to pay for 2 customers. But if you are sending to thousands of customers, you have to pay for that only. So main benefit is pay as you go pricing, which is provided by Amazon. Next is prerequisites. Now, if you're using this service, you need to have 2 things priorly. First is obviously an AWS account through which you will log in and use this service. And second is email address. Without email address, you won't be able to use this service, and neither you can send and receive mail in general as well. So you need to have an email address for that. So let's start it. Now, first step is signing to AWS console. You just need to write AWS management console in your browser, and the screen will pop up like this. It just you have to sign in your AWS management console. Second is access to SES dashboard. So now can you see the option where that you have to write SES? When you will write SES, there will be many options. The first option that is written is Amazon Simple Email Service. So just have to click on that, and you will be redirected to the SES dashboard. Now, we have to create an identity. Now, if you're using an SES, that means we are using one of the service of Amazon, you have to create your identity in Amazon so that you can use the service. So there are 2 options. First one is domain, which is written on left, and second one is email address, which is on right. So you have option which identity you want to verify. You can either go with domain or you can either go with email address. So I have gone with email address. As you can see, I have written my email address as well in this. So when you will write email address in the screen, last button will be of create identity. You just have to click on create identity and your identity will be created. After you're creating your identity, you will receive an email through AWS. You have to click on the mail, the option they have given, and your email address will be verified. When you will return to your Amazon dashboard, you will receive and you will see the your mail just like you, both of them are verified. So as I already told you, domain, it was optional. You can either go with domain verification or you go for email verification. So I have just gone for email verification. And the 7th step was to create an IAM user. Now, what is IAM? It's again one of the services of Amazon. It stands for Identity and Access Management. So what actually does is it verifies it actually identifies the services or the resources or the user that are trying to access your resources. First of all, it will identify who is accessing, and after identifying, it will provide access to that service if it is authorized action. So IAM user is optional. If you use it, it's better because it's for security uses. So it's an option. Next, we will go for SMT settings. Now, what is SMT? SMT stands for Simple Email Transfer Protocol. So it's a protocol through which you can send or receive email, not only in Amazon, in general as well. When you're sending email to any one of you, any one of the member, so there also SMT is used. So obviously Amazon also will be used. So you just have to write SMT settings in your dashboard, and the orange button will be written there, create SMT credentials. You just have to click it and your credentials will be created. And then you have to choose your IAM user. Earlier it was optional, but now you have to do this as for security reasons. So either you can go for default IAM user, just I have used the default one. You can create your IAM user as well. And then lastly, you have to just create it and your IAM user will be created. So that's how we use our SES service from the Amazon. So, but why do we need that SES when we can send thousands of email as with our normal email services. So why do we need SES? So I already told you 3 benefits. Other than that, it has other benefits also. For example, real-time email tracking. So if you are sending thousands of email to a person and you're receiving thousands of email from others as well, so it will be very difficult to keep track which email is sent to which person and which email you have received from which one. So there is a service called Amazon Cloud Watch in Amazon as well, which basically is used to provide metrics. It is used for watching what's happening in your Amazon account, which service is being used, what is happening. It's just keep a track on everything. So basically having SES service, you can have a real-time email tracking. Second is event publishing. You can capture detailed and sending events. When you're sending lots of email to everyone, you can just capture every single detail, what is in that email, whom to send, whom to receive. Other than that, the third one is email sending statistics. Sometimes you must have a complaint, or you have a bounce rate, or you have a late delivery. So everything is being tracked by SES only. You don't have to do anything. Every infrastructure is managed by SES by itself. So if you have your own company and you're sending emails, so you need to have some best practices. Number one is to maintain a good sender reputation. It's not like you're sending your email to thousands of people and your email is regarded as spam. So you don't want your email to be regarded as spam. So you need to have a good sender reputation so that your email are not in the spam folder and they're anti-spam policies. Second is monitor bounce and complaints. So if you're receiving complaints from the customers, you need to monitor that, work on that, so that you can next time when you're sending your email to them, you can have a much knowledge of. So you just need to have monitor and complaints. Third is be mindful of sending limits. For example, if you're sending 1,000 requests to the customers, but next day you realize there were 2,000 customers, you just request a limit increase with the SES. And as I already told you, SES is scalable. If you are sending 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 50,000, it's just a click away. You just have to click it, and the servers or the networking, everything required, the infrastructure which is required will be done by SES by its own. You just have to click it and just have to send your emails. So it was all about SES. So in conclusion, SES is reliable and scalable. So it's actually very reliable. It's very secure service, very scalable and reliable. Next is you just need to have a successful communication with your audience, and through SES it's very easy to connect with your audience with in an efficient time manner. And lastly, you need to have a positive sender reputation so that your email is not regarded as spam, and that helps your business improve. So thank you. If you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, first of all, your presentation, I would say overall, I would say it was above average. It was probably better than other people, but there are some improvements that you can do with respect to your hook. Okay, so hook is basically what you start where you can get your viewers' attention, and in between, what happens is that, let us say I'm listening to your presentation. Sometimes viewer don't actually keep listen to you, so they their mind is somewhere else. So if you can keep getting their attention, so that is hook. And to make a good hook, you need a good story. Good story is basically your content and how well you have put together everything. Okay, I think it can be improved. Your hook was better. I would give it, if I want to give it a score, I would say it is above average. Okay, your content is also passable. It is also above average. But the thing is that, let us say everything that you have listed, Gmail can also do it. Then why should I choose Amazon service?
So actually, I told all the services, all the benefits of using SES. It's scalable, reliable, secure. Infrastructure is managed by its own.
Don't you think Gmail can also do it? There is something called as Gmail workspaces.
But sir, there is a limit with the Gmail. It's not as scalable as SES. So that's why. And secondly, it's more secure. Email is not as much secure. If you are just, for example, clicking a spam folder, it's very obvious that you are having the spam or the virus in your account.
What security are you talking about? Like in terms of security, so let us say if I'm receiving a spam mail in my inbox, or so simple mail service also has an inbox service.
So in normal inbox service, spam, if you are able to have a spam folder and if you click on the link, you will have a virus. But in SES, there is an IAM. It will identify every single link that is being in your account, or if you are giving it out of the account. Other than IAM, we have security, other security features. For example, NACL security groups, which are on our account, and it's very impossible of the security threat. It's 99.119% secure. That's why we are using AWS, and that's why it has 60% of market share because of its security reasons. And email in general is not as secure. That's why, and other than that, we have to maintain it, scale it, infrastructure maintenance, everything. It's not as reliable as SES. So that's why it's more preferable.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
And second is, see, you were able to answer the question, okay, and you did ask like if anyone has any question, but I didn't see any Q&A slide.
Yeah, actually, sir.
Yeah,
Next time I
okay,
will
no
add it.
issue, no issue. See, the thing is that you did ask if anyone has any question, so that is good, but try to have a slide. Well, because what happens is that let us say someone is like, not listening to you. If they see the slide, then they might look at it, okay? So try to have a slide. I would say again, that is also good, but your conclusion can be improved, I think. Your conclusion basically talked about like, simple Amazon service. I can say like, it was basically like an introduction, but try to be more conclusive. In conclusion, you can like conclude how it is better than other, like, like let us say there are other competitors. Okay, then how is it better? And based on your, let us say you did a task, and based on that, what you found out and what are the results, and what is like, you can say reliability or simplicity. These are the things that you can like, add in the conclusion. I would say it was quite small based on the task. So try to improve on that. Other things are better. And second thing is when you are giving the presentation, try to give presentation in slideshow view. Okay. Because slides were not really visible. So try to improve the visibility of the slides. Okay. Yeah.
Thank
Other
you, sir.
than that, it was better. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. So let's go to next person. That is Rohith.
Sir, am I visible, sir, and audible?
Yes, you are visible.
Yes, I'll start
Uh,
sharing.
Tell me the name of your task.
Sir, it's doctor search website.
Okay. Let's show.
So are you able to look at the screen, sir? I've shared
Yeah,
it.
I can see this.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. I am Rohith Surapuraja from MIT Manipal. So today my topic is about the doctor search website which we have prepared. So the contents that I'm going to talk about today is the introduction of the website that we have prepared, the aim why we have prepared the website, and then the methodologies that we have used for making the website, the demo of the website, and then the limitations, future work, the conclusion, and then the references that I've used. So coming to the introduction, so this is basically a website which is used for searching doctors in a particular area. Like some few years back, when people used to search for doctors, so they have to either go for some references, some mouth talks, pamphlets, or newspaper readings, or something, etc. But now technology has way more advanced, and everything is just at the fingertips, and people are now able to search for everything very easily. So in a similar manner, we also have developed the doctor searching website, which will basically reduce the time and also effort for the user to search for the website, search for a doctor. So users can just give two types of inputs, like the type or the specialization, and then the area in which they want to search, and then the correspondent results will be provided. And users will be able to look at the experience of the doctors, their information, and regarding everything. And they also will have different access to different kinds of services provided in the website, and they also can get to know about the different information which is provided on the website. So basically these are a few client requirements which are initially taken for building the website. So the website is basically should be used for searching doctors in some area, and users must be given proper and valid inputs so that they will be able to select a doctor and then just book some appointments. And if in case there is no doctor found in a particular area, user has to be given a proper message saying that no doctors are found in our area. So considering all the different requirements, we have then designed the website, which will simplify your process of searching the doctor. It will also reduce a lot of time for searching doctors. It is obviously a user-friendly website, which will provide you information regarding some trusted doctors and qualified doctors information. And it is also very cost effective. You need not pay anything for searching this. You can, as I said, it just has the fingertips. You can just start searching for doctors and just open the website and do it. So coming to the methodology, so how we have built this website. So there are 5 methodologies that I have followed for building the website. The first being the design, front end, back end, a database, and then the hosting. So for design, basically the template of the website has to be built first. So for that, we have used Figma. Figma is basically a graphic designing tool. So and then for the front end, this design which is previously created has to be converted into HTML and CSS code. So for that, we have used Locofy app. And then coming to the backend, for web services, we have used PHP. And connecting the backend with the front end, we have used jQuery. And database, for storing the doctor's information, we have used MySQL database, where SQL will be the prime query language. And finally, for hosting or deploying the website, we have used 000 web host, which will make the website live. So coming to the design part, so this is basically the design of the website. The first being the navigation part, where you'll have different types of buttons and you can just navigate through into the website by just clicking those buttons. The second is the search section, which is the most important one, where you will just give input of doctor, search, and then if you click the search button, you'll automatically get the results. The third is some extra section where you'll get to know about the different services that the website provides. And fourth is also an extra section where you'll get to know about some additional information regarding the website. So the front end part. So as I've said, Locofy has to be used before, after using Figma. Figma is basically used for designing the website. So basically here we use the Figma, and then front end after Figma is used for completely designing the website. We'll just add a plugin to Figma, which is Locofy, and we'll just add some hover effects, animations, and everything to the website so that it looks very lively and it is also very interactive with the audience. And finally, when all the animations and everything are added, this template is converted into HTML and CSS code. So this is the backend part, and this is just the overlay of how it works. So first, the user will be able to give doctor type and doctor area, the 2 inputs. These inputs are taken, and a request is sent to the backend. Now from the backend, the data is fetched and it is again sent back. And now this information is again sent to the main page and the doctor's results will be displayed. So for doing all these web services, we have used PHP as the language, and PHP is basically a backend language, which is used for processing data. And it also contains the main logic for fetching the data. This PHP code will also have the SQL query, which is very important for getting information from the database. And also to connect the front end with the back end, we will use the jQuery. So which it enhances the smooth exchange of data between both front end and back end. So coming to the database part, this is the database that I have created. This database has been created by using MySQL database. And as I've said, this SQL is the prime query language in this MySQL database. And this table has 6 columns: ID, doctor name, information, area, image, and category. And I also have added few tuples into the database. So when everything of all this is done, finally how the database is working and how the backend part is working, and if everything is working or fine or not, for checking all that purposes, we have used Postman. So using Postman, we'll check whether everything is working fine, and then when we are assured that it is fine, then we'll just move ahead. So finally, for hosting the website which we have developed, we have used 000 web host. So this is used for deploying the website, and this is actually the main important part of the website. So all the files which are related to the website will be just added into the 000 web host. All the PHP files and everything, HTML, CSS files and everything will be added into it. And this will finally give us the functional website, which is very live and ready to use. Now I'll just give you a quick demo of the project. So I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is basically the website that I've prepared. So if you just click about, it will just take you to the about section where you can just get to know about some extra information. And if you want to go to services, you can just go here. And if you want to search for a doctor, it will take you here. And you can just search for some doctors. Like, for example, I'll just give it as dentist. And area, I'll just put it Hyderabad. And if I just search, I'm sorry. Let me take it. Cardiologist in Delhi area. So it will just show you the doctors who are found in the Delhi area. And let me take cardiologist in Hyderabad. And it will show you the cardiologists which are found in the Hyderabad area. You will be able to know about the picture, the name of the doctor, the experience and everything. So let me take some area which is not there in the database. So let it be Pune. As it's not there in the database, so it will just give you a message saying that no doctor is found in your area. So basically how is this website working is, both this doctor input and area input, these both are taken. This jQuery statement is very important. When you just click this button, then that jQuery statement comes into existence, and it will just take the information which is given from the user. This information will be sent to the PHP file, and that PHP file will just process the information, and it will go and fetch the what are the tuples that are required for displaying. It will fetch it from the database, and back it will send as a HTML response to this page. And now we are able to see the HTML responses. So this is how basically the whole website is working. I'll just take you back to the demo. Yeah, slides. So let me talk about the limitations of my website. So as this is a website which we have created for limited purposes, so it will have a relatively small user data, doctors database, and it will have limited records of the doctors. And it also does have a limited search range. It doesn't have search range for all the cities. It has search range from limited cities. Future works which I can include is I can make the doctors database little bigger. I can improve the size of the doctors database, and I can also add sign up options for customers, and they can just log in into and they can have a personal account. I can just add a booking appointment with doctors, which can be added so that it helps them to book for an appointment. And I can also add some tracking section, which will help them to track their previous orders, which are they doing, the previous appointments that they are doing. So coming to the conclusion, so as discussed earlier, all the different requirements which are needed have been implemented successfully, and the front end and the back end of front end of the website is successfully handled by Figma and the Locofy. So for doing the backend part, PHP and MySQL database have played a major role. And jQuery statement is basically used for connecting the front end and the backend, which will make the website very functional. And finally, modification of CSS was done for proper and good display of the doctors, so that it makes a good and feel look for users to just use the website. So modification of CSS was done at the end. And so 00 web host is actually the main important thing, which is helped in deploying the website at the end. So now finally all the users can now be able to search for doctors in different areas and different sections. So these are the different references that I have used for creating the website. Thank you. And if you have any doubts, you can just feel free to ask me.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done.
Yes, sir.
See, good presentation, I would say, really above average, I would say, from like all the presentations that are done on the doctor search website. This was one of the presentation which was above average. Proper information was conveyed as well as was properly done. Okay, your hook can be improved. Okay, but
Sure.
your overall content that you have is really great. Okay, so that was like, it didn't really feel like that you need a hook and story because your content was really strong. And each slide has only relevant content, important content, I would say. So good job on that one. And second is that your demonstration was also good. Okay, you did explain everything. But I think it can be more specific. You can be more specific about the demonstration. And second thing is that, so can you show me your website again?
Sure, sir. I'll just
Yeah.
share.
Yeah, sure.
So, is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible. So is it responsive?
Actually, it's not responsive, sir. I need to work on that. Like,
Yeah,
I just follow the steps and then
yeah. So the thing is that in modern web development, we want the sites to be mobile first, right? But because this is a foundational course, so what you can do is in the future scope of the project that you have a slide, right? You can
yes.
say that you can, like, you will work on the, let us say, responsive part. And also what happens if you are not putting any, let us say, input or just clicking on submit button? Can you
It
show
will
it
just
to
show.
me?
Yes, sir. It will just show the all the available doctors in the website. Like,
Yeah. So, what do you think can be done to stop
like
this kind of behavior?
we can just add error message saying that you have to type the doctor input and then the area input.
Okay, so that can be achieved using jQuery or PHP.
So that can be achieved using jQuery.
Okay. And what about PHP?
So I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
What about PHP? Do you think you can achieve it by PHP?
PHP, I guess. We
What
can
if
just
you are checking what the input you are getting, and if it is empty, then you are, instead of printing no doctor found, you are saying you have not entered anything.
okay. Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I can also use JavaScript for doing this, I guess. So we can just
jQuery is basically JavaScript, but as a framework,
uh,
right? So
yeah,
they are basically same, jQuery and JavaScript,
yeah.
because jQuery is using JavaScript under the hood, right?
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah.
yeah, instead of by writing no doctors found in area, I can just give the user message saying that you please give the proper inputs for searching the data.
No,
In that
no doctor fount is relevant, but where the user is not entering anything in that scenario, you might want to print the information like, please enter a value, right?
yes, sir. I'll just check if both of them are empty or not. If they're empty, and then I'll just prompt the user
Even
that
if one input is available, it is okay to give response.
okay, sir.
Because let us say a user wants to find doctors in Mumbai region, but he don't know, like, which, like, let us say,
Yes, sir.
specialization, right? So
Yes,
that
sir.
will be
Yes.
better. So that can be improvements can be done and can be included in the future scope. Okay. So overall, your conclusion part can also be improved, but whatever was there, it was really strong content and good content, I would say. So keep up with the good work. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. So next is Rakhi. Please turn your camera.
If my screen is visible to you, sir,
Yeah. Tell me the name of your task.
create a Linux instance on AWS EC2.
Interesting.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rakhi. My project name is Project Cloud Infrastructure Operation, and task allotted to me create a Linux instance on AWS EC2. I'm from Department Cloud Computing Group. So this is the content of my task. First is introduction of AWS. What is cloud computing? Then top companies of cloud computing. After that, services of AWS. After that, compute services. After that, create a Linux instance on AWS EC2. Then conclusion. So first is introduction to AWS. AWS means Amazon Web Services, that is used by millions. And to get the answer this question, we must know that AWS is a cloud provider. It is a safe cloud service platform that offers almost that a business required to develop sophisticated applications with reliability, scalability, and flexibility. It is a model for billing generally referred to pay as you go, having no upfront or capital cost. Amazon offers almost 200 fully featured services based on demand, and the list has been rising daily. Operations is almost immediately, and it is accessible with reduced setup. Organizations around the globe use AWS to develop and scale. The next slide is what is cloud computing. So use of cloud computing resources as a service over internet. It refers to manipulating, configuring, and accessing the application online. User can access database resources via internet from anywhere for long as they need. It is both combination of software and hardware-based computing resources. It uses for pay-as-you-go pricing model. Next slide is top companies of cloud computing. There are many companies provided clouds, but these are the most important companies like AWS, Azure Cloud, Google Cloud Platform, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, Linode, and many more. So services of AWS. More than 200 services comprise the AWS portfolio, including those compute, database, storage, deployment, and administration, application services, and security. So these are the services provided by AWS. First is compute services. Compute services. It is also known as the infrastructure as a service. Compute platforms such as AWS Compute supply a virtual server instance and storage and APIs that let user migrate workloads to a virtual machine. These are the compute services: Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2 Container Service, Lightsail, Lambda, Elastic Beanstalk. So we only talk about Amazon EC2. Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud is a web service that provides secure, resizable compute capacity in the cloud. It is designed to make web-scale cloud computing easier for developers. Amazon EC2 Simple Web Service Interface allow you to obtain and configure capacity with minimum friction. So these create a Linux instance on AWS EC2. There are many steps to create a Linux instance on AWS EC2. Step 1 is log in to AWS console and go to EC2 service. Second step is choose an Amazon machine image. So we choose Amazon Linux 2020 through AMI. Then third step is choose an instance type. Fourth step is create a key pair. After creating a key pair, we configure a network setting and select launch instance. Done, verify created instance is ready. Next slide is how to connect EC2 Linux instance from Windows using PuTTY. First is install PuTTY on your local computer, then download and install PuTTY from the PuTTY download page, then download the putty.exe and puttygen.exe file. Then second step is open the PuTTY, then by default putty.exe display only files with the extension .ppk. To locate your .pm file for the key pair that you specified when you launch your instance and click to open. Putty.exe display a notice, then the .pem file was successfully imported. Then in the category expand connection type, expand SSH and select auth. Then click on browse, select the .ppk file that you generate for your key pair and select open. So we are logging into our EC2 instance. So this is the way to connect your EC2 instance with our local machine. Then conclusion, I hope through this article, you got the basic idea of how to launch a EC2 instance of our requirements and connect to instance through our local machine. If you have any question, please ask me, and for any queries, please contact me. Thank you.
Are you done with your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you show me a conclusion? Show me the conclusion slide. Conclusion slide. So you have written, I hope this article you got the, so I hope through this article, what does this, have you copied it from somewhere?
No, sir.
Then why have you written like, I hope this through, I hope through this article? That doesn't really fit well with the overall concept, right?
Sir, I'm only present. Sir, I'm only present this in. I'm only present this in creating a Linux instance on AWS EC2. So this.
See, work on your communication skills and also work on your explanation skill. You have basically just reading from the slide, okay? Every single word. Accidentally, you went on next slide, so you came back to the slide and then you started reading it. This is now how this is not how you are supposed to do a presentation, okay? You only have important points, and one point should not take more than one line. Keep this in mind, okay? Every slide should only have at least 5 to 6 points. Okay, so next time you are creating the presentation, what you need to keep in mind is that on one slide only have at least 5 to 6 points, and one point should not be more than one line, right? Whatever you want to add more should be added through your explanation. And a live demonstration is much more preferable if possible. Okay. And second is that in the Q&A, you have installed Amazon Linux, right? Sorry, have you installed Amazon Linux? What OS you have installed in instance?
Sorry, sir.
What operating system? कौन सा ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम आपने इंस्टॉल किया है Amazon EC2 में?
Operating system.
या
Linux.
OS इमेज किया था? Linux कौन सा Linux?
2023.
अरे कौन सा Linux? 23 तो वर्जन हुआ ना? Ubuntu यूज किया है?
Amazon.
ओके, सो Amazon में कौन सा पैकेज मैनेजर यूज होता है?
Sorry, sir.
ओके, सो सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप कौन कौन से एक्टिवेट किए थे हमने?
Sir, I can't.
सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप EC2 इंस्टेंस सिक्योरिटी ग्रुप. See, do more research on this kind of things. Okay, they are really important, because if you don't know which security group you have activated, and then how did you create it? Okay, because let us say if I want to deploy my website, then these are some basic information that should be provided. Okay, second is that work on your overall content quality also. You started with what is cloud computing, then what is AWS. You should have started by making, like, saying what is EC2, what is importance of EC2, how does EC2 works. This is the content that you should have focused on. So work on that. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. Okay, just work on your overall presentation skills.
Okay.
Yeah. So Manish.
Yes, sir. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Tell me the name of your task.
Doctor search websites.
Can you give me your email?
Sir?
Your email.
Yes, sir. At Manish Nittala 007. I will type it here.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Manish, yeah.
Zero zero.
Yes, you can start the presentation.
Okay, sir. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Manish, and my task is Doctor Search website. And index, we're talking about introduction, aim, methodology, live demo limitations, and we're going to talk about all these things like aim, what are we required, and methodologies, what things we used in the project, and live demo I'm going to show you, and limitations I'm going to tell you, and in future work. Our website is a user-friendly website where users can search whatever doctor they need based on their specialty and locations. And our aim is to create a platform that helps people easily find the doctors according to their needs. And we focus on the categories of the doctors. We help us to search easily, and we provide trustworthy information. And the benefits are the benefits are we save time and efforts in finding trusted and qualified doctors. And we should provide user-friendly platform, easy to use, and we should provide quick search, and even users should be able to search by using categories or search by using location based or by both. And we provide our website is trustworthy and methodologies. So first we created a template by using Figma, and later to convert the code into HTML and CSS, we used front end and back end. We used a Lokify to convert the front end into HTML and CSS code, and by using the Lokify, we used some hover effects and the tall effects. And for the backend, we use PHP file to create a web service, and jQuery is used to create jQuery is used for connecting front end and back end. And database, we use MySQL database to store the doctor information in the tables. And hosting, we hosted in 00 web host, where we hosted publicly. And this is my template and website page. This is the navigation bar, and this is the search area, and these are the additional informations. And we used a Lokify app to convert this template to the code. Lokify is basically used to create convert a template. It's basically Figma extension or plugins which we use to convert the template to HTML and CSS code according to our needs. And this is the workflow of my the website. You enter here search a doctor and search location. You give doctor category and doctor location. By using the jQuery, you will search by taking the details from the database, and database again uses the jQuery and display the results here. And as you know, we use the PHP file for data backend. Basically, PHP is a programming language that facilitates the processing of data and provides instruction for acquiring it. So the PHP code also contains SQL query, which we use to extract the information from the tables. And to link the front end and back end, we use jQuery to connect it. This helps us to display the data. And this is my database. And as you know, I use my SQL database for this. And these all are the attributes: ID, doctor name, doctor information, doctor area, everything is attributes. And these are the data items. We use MySQL database to create a data tables, doctors, and we use Postman for API testing. You can even send the post request, get request, put request, any request, and it will help us you in identifying the errors, and we can debug the errors according to the error we got. And the benefit of using the Postman is we can easily find the errors, and we can easily fix issues by using it, and it enhances the user experience. And this is the main part of the creation for the website hosting. So we use the free website for hosting 00 web host. Here we upload our files, HTML, CSS, PHP files, and everything into the file manager in the website department. It even supports the PHP also. And we created a database by using this website, MySQL databases, and provide the information about doctors and everything in the table. And I will show you my live demo. This is my demo. These all are the buttons and everything. And here is the area where you can, this is just normal information, what doctors are there, and these are all this. And here, if we search for general physician and in Delhi, you will get the doctors displayed for whatever. You will get the doctors who are in general physician in Delhi. If even you don't know who any type of doctors what you want, and even if you enter the location, you can get the doctors. Suppose Mumbai, you will get the doctors who are there in Mumbai. And even if you don't know the area, if you want something in the general physician category, even it will display the doctors, all the doctors information. And this is my live demo. Now, into presentation. So the limitations of our website is our database is so small. So we try to improve more and database by adding more doctors and everything in, and even geographical limitations, because the person who is not in the specific region or cannot access the data. It focus only on area. And our future work is we try to create more user-friendly accounts, like creating personalized user accounts or track of their appointments and everything about their history and everything. And we will make convenient appointment booking by booking the doctors according to their choices effortlessly, and doctors also can interact with the patients and everything. And we will add feedbacks and ratings to doctors who like the feedbacks, leaves, and reviews also will add up to the doctors to search. And the conclusion is we developed a user-friendly website with a well-designed front end, and we use MySQL database and backend PHP and Loco5 for front end to convert the template to HTML and CSS. And we use the Postman for testing the APIs. And users can easily search doctor by category and location. And we hosted it on the 00 website, and we hosted publicly. And these are the references I used. Thank you. Now you can ask questions.
Okay, I hope your presentation is done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in your website, can you not add any input and search, see what happens?
Sir,
Don't add any input and click on
actually it
search
will
button.
display everything. So like what are the doctors here in the website,
Try doing that.
in the database, everything it will display, sir.
Try doing that.
Yes, sir. It will just display the all data,
So
all
you
doctors.
only have 4
Yes, sir. I only added 4 doctors right now in database, sir.
refresh your page.
So,
I can still see the doctor information. Why
I
is
mean,
that?
like this is just the display. Like we have the finance doctors like that, sir. These are not the actual doctors, sir. This is just a name I just created for displaying the results here, sir.
So, okay. Yeah. Okay, no issues. Okay. See, your explanation skills can be improved. Okay, your content was good. Okay, story was also good, but your overall hook, I would say, you need to work on it. The way you do the presentation, you also need to work on that. Okay, your explanation, it like it was good, but it sounded like you are reading, right? So
Yes, sir.
work on your overall explanation skills. Second is that your PPT was well made. Okay, the content is good, and but also think formatting can be improved. But it is okay for now. But improve on your formatting. Your communication skills are good, and your QA is also good. You were able to answer everything, and your conclusion I really liked it. Okay, you had added a lot of information, but I think it can be improved a lot. Okay, because there are a lot of things like is your website responsive?
No, sir. I mean, it
So
will
you
work
can
for
add
only.
these things on a future work, right?
Yes.
And second is that your demo was also fine. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rinki.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible. Please turn your camera and tell me the name of your task.
Is my screen is visible to you, sir?
Yeah, please tell me the name of your task.
Okay. So, greetings everyone. My name is Rinki and I am from Cloud Computing Group. My project name is Cloud Infrastructure Operation, and a task allotted to me is to create a Linux instance on AWS EC2. So, now in this PPT, we discuss about what is AWS, then cloud computing, AWS services, AWS compute service, then Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, and the demonstration how to create a Linux instance on AWS EC2, then conclusion. But now what is AWS? AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. It is the most popular cloud service performing by Amazon. It provides more than 200 fully featured services. It, it provides storage, analytics, databases, and so many services. AWS is located in 31 geographical region and 99 availability zones. Now, what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is on-demand delivery of compute power, database, storage, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud service platform via the internet through pay-as-you-go pricing. Now, AWS services. AWS provides more than 200 fully featured services. Amazon EC2 and VPC, Amazon RDS, AWS Direct Connect, Amazon Route 53, Amazon S3. These are some services. Now, what is AWS Compute Service? AWS Compute Service is also known as infrastructure as a services. It provides a variety of cost-effective and flexible computing services to meet the need of organizations such as Amazon EC2, Lambda, then Amazon Container Service. And now, what is Amazon EC2? It is a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. EC2 allow creating virtual machines, auto scaling allow automatically scale up and scale down or during the demands to maximize and minimize, and elastic load balancer automatically distribute the incoming traffic by using multiple Amazon EC2 instances. Pay-as-you-go service is also used in Amazon EC2. VM import and export are we easily used to import virtual machines. Now, demonstration how to create a Linux instance on AWS EC2. I would like to give a live demonstration. So, first of all, go to AWS Management Console, then sign into the console, then email address. Now we have to put the password. Then sign in. Now we have to go to services, then all services. Compute service, then EC2. This is the dashboard of Amazon EC2. Now we have to launch an instance. So we have go to launch instance. Give name to the instance like server. Then we have to choose application and OS images. So I choose Amazon Linux AWS. Then instance type T2 micro, that is free tier eligible. Now we have to create a key pair. So create new key pair, then name Linux. Key pair is used to encryption the password .ppk, then create a key pair. So our key pair is ready. Network settings are by default that have. Now we have to launch instance. The instance is launched successfully, but it is now in pending state. Sir, it's take a few minutes for status check 2 by 2. After after the status check 2 by 2, we learn how to connect Linux instance to putty. Sir, it takes few minutes to connect.
You can wait for a minute and let it just complete the checks.
Okay, sir. These are the old details of the instance we launched: the instance ID, public IP address, then host name, private IP address, everything.
Try refreshing your web page.
Sorry, sir.
Press F5.
So now we copy the public IP address. I already download the putty in my system. So putty.exe. Put the host name, then SSH, expand the SSH, then auth, then expand auth and credentials. Now we have go to browse and the private key and we create a key pair, choose that and open. Now again open. It shows a dialog box that you accept it or not. So accept and login is to then enter. So our EC2 Linux instance is connected to our putty. Now again move to our presentation. I also put the screenshot of my demonstration Now, conclusion. Creating a Linux instance on AWS is a straightforward process that can be completed in just a few seconds. By following the steps outlined in the presentation, you can easily launch a Linux instance on AWS EC2 and start exploring the vast array of services offered by AWS. So, thank you for your attention. If you have any question, please ask me. And if you have any query, please contact me on my email. So, thank you, sir.
So I hope you are done with your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, work on your overall book and story. Your most of the time in the presentation, you are mostly reading from the slide. Okay. At the
Okay, sir.
start and then at the end, also the conclusion part. Conclusion part can be improved. Okay. Try to cover things like, let's say, EC2 versus other competitors that are in the market. Okay.
Okay,
And
sir.
why EC2 is better and what you feel while doing the task, like what was your, like, let us say, impact on you of the EC2.
Okay,
Second
sir.
thing you can add is that, let us say, when you are explaining something, okay, you did really well in explaining. Yeah, the demo was really well done. Okay, so keep up with the demo. But overall, your presentation can be improved. The content is good. It is just that there are like a lot of text. Try to reduce the amount of text you have in the slide, but keep up with the your overall explanation. So work on the explanation part. And other thing is that you can be more specific about some things like security and networking and monitoring tabs, right? They are important things with respect to EC2 because you are not just covering instance, that is the task, but you are also covering the EC2 part of the AWS, right?
Okay, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
you can also add that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Overall, I would say it was good. Your demonstration was good, but work on the presentation. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I got disconnected a little. Am I visible now? Hello. Okay. Yeah. Tell me the name of your task.
Getting started and full walkthrough of adalo.
Yeah, you are scheduled. Because
Yes. My screen is visible, sir.
yeah, it is visible.
Yeah. Good afternoon, all of you. My name is Milind Rathore from Varada Nakhate. And my today's project name is Real Stock Market Data Web Application. Now we move on to the index page. First, we go to brief the introduction about today's project. Then followed by the task instructions and key feature points. Fourth, index point describes how to create project on Adalo app. Then we go to the demo of my project and some limitations of using Adalo app, followed by the challenges page, and finally conclude our presentation with my conclusion page and references. So first we go through the brief introduction about today's project. So here is the introduction of our project. Real-time stock market data web application is a full stack web application that allows investors to track real-time stock market data in easy to understand format. The web application holds real-time stock market data from APIs, and displays the stock prices, volume, and market trends, and other information that investors need to track their investments. The web application has features such as user authentication security to ensure that user data is protected. Now, our task instructions is to watch the tutorial video provided using the link, follow among this video, and learn Adalo app, its features and functionalities. Once we have completed our tutorial, start building a responsive website. And the key features used in the building process of website using Adalo app are: first, choose a theme and customize it via our library. Create multiple web pages with different components like buttons, text, forms, list, and some graphs to show the visual representation of stock data. And the last point is adding functionality to our website, such as navigation bar, used to navigation among tabs, form submission for authentication layout, and data storage for managing the data. The remaining task instruction were presentation should include the walkthrough of our website, which is the demo of the app, and highlighting its feature functionalities. So our today's task is getting started and full walkthrough of Adalo. And we discuss why do we need Adalo at the same time. Adalo is a no-code platform founded in 2018 that enables anyone to build native mobile apps and progressive web apps without a single line of code. With Adalo, you can create most types of apps you can imagine. The platform comes with a drag and drop interface that that makes easy to design and build your app without any technical expertise. Using Adalo is easy as dragging and dropping UI components to design your app. The platform comes with 50 UI components for you to use. This includes components most apps require, such as button, text, list, images, forms, and navigation. Some of the more interesting components we found in marketplace included a QR code generator and the audio player. Adalo comes with a inbuilt database manager that makes easy to store and manage your app's data. You can easily create collection, set relationships, and add security rules to control who can read, write, and delete your data. Delete his or her data. Adalo offers API integration with existing databases, which means you can simply use Adalo as front end of your app if you prefer. Adalo also has a user management system, which lets you easily add authentication to your app. This is useful if you want to add features such as login, sign up, password, reset, email verification, and templates are pre-built apps that you can use starting point for your own app. For example, booking app, to-do app, e-commerce app, news app, and task manager app, and many more. Now, let's create an app in Adalo. In these following steps, we will be ready for making a very efficient website using Adalo. So at first, join Adalo app by making an account. Then choose your required template. I choose blank template as I want my website to be started from scratch. Then mark which page would be your home page, login page, sign up page, and design them accordingly. Also make other tabs for different purposes, and add components in each page and link them with their functionalities. Finally, debugging your web pages. Now let's move to the demo of our project. So yeah, this is the interface of Adalo web application, and this is my website name Stock Habit. This is our welcome page. When you click on when you open my website, first you interface this welcome page, and you have two options. When you click on the home page, you will redirect to this home page, and if you already have an account, then login page will be open. If you click on the sign up, it means that you do not have any account, so this page will be open to you, and you have to give some credentials across, and the account will already made and stores in this database, the user's database. As I already have an my account, and you also this is our database, and you can also it is clearly visible that email is given, password is hidden, that it is fully authenticated, and even that Adalo app can't see your password. And this is our full name, ID name, and when it is created. So this is our homepage. In the homepage, you are looking to the navigation bar, which consists of a homepage, login page, news, trending, and contact. I still not made the trending and the contact web pages, but homepage, login page, and news tabs are already. I made it all, and this is the graph which shows the data of that company. That in this application, in this web application, I just selected the data, stock data of IBM, and the data is stored in this database collection. I just store only 14 datas where you can see the columns like high and low, and the volume, opening and closing. These are all the data of stock, and the date of the stock was published in the market. And these are the records of the news. Here the title of news, article link, that you can redirect to the main page of the news page, where this is the publisher of the news, date and the time of the news happened, and description, and there's somewhat a little description of the news, and images. Some news has images, some doesn't. And it is very easy that if you want to just add some buttons, so you have to just click on the button and drag here, and if you want to customize it, just click on the, if you want to give some more roundness to it. Now it is clearly that it is the 18 point roundness, and if you want to give that some action, like when on click the button, you can redirect it to the login page, news page, sign up page. You can just redirect it. It is not very hard. Like Adalo app is very easy to use. So I just remove this button, as already I have many buttons for this. And this is the last page of our news. So let's move to our website. On clicking to the preview, we redirected to the homepage, welcome page of this website. Now, this is a homepage. So as I have already an account, so I just click on this and enter my email address and my password. Now yes, because I typed the wrong password, so it is giving me already an notification that please double check your information. Now I again type the right credentials. Now this is the right credentials. So it opens the yeah, this open our account and our this stock habit website. So this is the stock data of IBM. It is showing the high rates at most. This rate on the 7th of May, 24.31 is the highest rate of that stock, and the volume according to it, this is the 29, and the lowest rate is the 12.59. Now if you want some news, just click on that news tab and you will redirect to the news tabs, where you can see the various types of news. This is for the sensitive news. As I already said, that some has news images, but some doesn't. So I use that breaking news images in the purple background. So this is and this one, and these all are the newses. And in each and every news in the right in the lowest corner, there is a share button, so you can share them also. Now, if you want to again change your account, so you just click on the login page, and you will redirect it this. Now, if you don't want to open your account and just want to homepage, just click on this stock habit, this text. This is also used as a button. So like this also gives you a homepage. So now we move on to our presentation. So like we have completed our, oh my God, I just wait. Why it is not, just wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Limitations page. Why it is not sharing? Yeah. So where were we? We were on the demo of the project. Now some challenges. What are the challenges were faced? So our main challenges are the first, easy to format, understand format. Wait, ensuring that user interface and overall design of the application are intuitive and easy to understand can be challenged. Since Adalo is a no-code platform, then that users needs to carefully design the app layout, navigation, and interaction so that users can easily grasp its functionality without need of extensive instructions. And the second point is connection to other tab links. In many applications, different sections of functionalities are organized into separate tabs. The challenge here is to establish a smooth, seamless connection between these tabs, allowing users to navigate them effortlessly. And the third point is data management and its connections. Adalo app already consists of its own data manager. So it often involves handling and displaying data from various sources like databases and APIs and external services. The user needs to understand how to manage data within the app and connect it to appropriate components for display. Challenges may arise in handling different data formats, ensuring data consistency, and handling the potential errors in data retrieval. And the fourth point is data connection to line charts and news. Specifically in this project, the user will encounter challenges related to the visualizing data through a line chart and incorporating news feeds, which I use the data manager and the CSV files for them. They will need to configure the line chart component to display accurately and update dynamically based on underlying data set. Additionally, connecting and displaying news content from external sources can represent challenges related to API integration and rendering the news in representative. Now, what are some limitations? So, feature limitation, like while Adalo has a range of built-in features, it might not cover every possible functionality required. Advanced or the niche features may not be readily available, and implementing them could be challenging or even impossible without a custom code. And the second one is the data storage and scalability. Adalo's data storage capabilities might have limitation in terms of storage capacity and scalability. For large-scale application of all projects with extensive data needs, this platform management might become a constraint. And the limited backend access. Adalo abstracts away much of the backend complexity, which is a great for ease of use. However, it also means limited access to low-level backend operations, which might be necessary for certain advanced functionalities. Now, the conclusion is of our today's project is that Adalo's no-code approach empowers the user to create a website without extensive coding knowledge. and making it accessible to individuals with various backgrounds and skills. User-friendly interface in this Adalo provides an intuitive, user-friendly interface, enabling the user to design and customize the website very easily. In the rapid development, with pre-built components and templates, Adalo facilitates quick website development, allowing the user to focus more on design and functionality. In responsive design point, Adalo ensures that the website is responsive across various devices, like you can easily use in mobile, tablet, and in the website, in the web, in means PC, providing a seamless experience for users on. I already discussed the mobiles and web platforms and tablet platforms. Data integration, like the platform allows for data connections, enabling the users to fetch, display, and dynamic the content, such as like in news feeds and line charts. So here are some references, two YouTube videos, and from the Adalo help bar, and I use that stock data and the news data from that news API and the Alpha Vantage API by downloading the CSV files. So thank you, and I'm open to the questions. Anything you would like to ask? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so with presentation, I would say you have improved a lot from last time. This presentation was certainly above average. Okay, your overall explanation skill as well as like your book was also good in this one. Story was also better, and your what I liked was really demonstration. You have improved a lot. You explained every component and how it is working, and overall the working of your project was well explained. So keep up with that one. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. You have like covered mostly everything that should be covered. Okay?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So we'll move on to Varada. Do you have a presentation?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I joined the other link, but the host was in there. So,
Oh, yeah, sure. You can give the presentation for me.
okay. Yeah.
Tell me the name of your task.
My task is the list of data science techniques used in stock. It's my second task.
Research and compile a list of popular data science techniques used in the stock,
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. You can share the screen and start.
Yeah. So basically, my name is Varada Nakhate. The name of this task is listing and research on the popular data science techniques used in the stock. So basically giving a whole outlook of this presentation is that we have studied in the first presentation that data science deals with statistics and numbers, and with the help of that we use it in stocks to predict the future, to gain maximum profit, etc. So now while we use data science, what techniques are required which will help us give maximum profit in the stocks is what we have to learn, and on what we have to do the research. So basically, data science is used in stock market for the analysis. So it extracts all the insights that are required, and it identifies the patterns and makes predictions accordingly. The numbers helps us know what the past numbers tells us the specific trends and patterns that we can follow to maximize the profit. So the popular techniques that data science includes, which helps in the prediction of stock market, are time series analysis, regression analysis, machine learning, natural language processing, clustering, dimensionality reduction, and reinforcement learning. So going to time series analysis, by the name, it basically suggests that it is used to analyze the historic stock price data and identify price trends and seasonality as well. Like on the basis of all the data that has already occurred, using those numbers, we predict the future prices and gain the maximum profit. So in the time series analysis, we have a lot of techniques such as average, exponential, smoothing, and it also includes autoregressive, integrated, moving average models. So these models, on the basis of the historical data that we have collected, it analyzes it and then helps us to give a particular pattern in which the stock prices can be predicted in the future. Moving on to the next technique is regression analysis. So regression analysis is basically identifying the relationship between stock prices and various factors. So these factors include the economic indicators, company financials, or market sentiment. Now, the regression analysis involves multiple linear regression. In this technique, basically, it takes into consideration not only one factor, but multiple factors as well. And it also involves logistic regression as well, on which we use our logic and the multiple factors that we need to consider to make an informed decision. Moving on to the next technique, we go on to the machine learning. Basically, machine learning algorithms are used to build predictive models based on historical data. So all the probabilistic graphical models, etc., can be made with the help of machine learning. These models, we train the data, we test it. The data that we use are taken from all the historical events that have occurred. We take all the numbers that we have received from the past, we train the data, and then we predict, then we build a model which helps us to predict a particular stock price that would be required in the future. And in this way, we are able to predict the stock prices in the future as well. In this, there are various techniques involved, such as decision trees, random forest, support vector machines, neural networks, etc. All these algorithms helps us to predict the models, etc. Moving on to the next technique, we have the natural language processing. These techniques are basically used to analyze the news articles, social media sentiment, and other textual data, etc. Like whatever that has been going in the market, we see it in the news, etc. But the computer is not able to understand it. So data science, basically, this technique in data science helps us to analyze all the text. It involves the process of tokenization, etc., which helps us to understand what actually is going on in the current market. It uses the techniques such as sentiment analysis, and with this we are able to predict the future stock prices, etc., based on the current events that are happening. It helps us to interpret the human language. Moving on to the next technique is clustering. So clustering, as the name suggests, these algorithms are used to group the stocks based on the similarities or market behavior. So basically, we have n number of data that we have taken from the past, etc. So the clustering algorithms, what they do is, whatever the similar data is, it helps to group those data. So the similar data and make an informed decision based on the similar data groups that we've made. And these groups can be made with the help of market behavior, etc. The various techniques that are used in this are k-means clustering, hierarchical clustering, then various other methods are also involved in this. So the stocks that show similar characteristics can be studied and an informed decision can be predicted from it. This can help to like choose a particular stock for gaining maximum profit. Moving on to the next, we have dimensionality reduction. Now, dimensionality reduction techniques are used to reduce the number of variables and extract meaningful features from high dimensional data sets. So now the stock market is like a very big big environment of field that we go into. So even if we say that we would refer the historical data, it involves various variety of data, some helpful, some not helpful, and it includes huge amount of numbers, data sets, and everything. So all the data is not necessarily helpful for us. So we require such a technique which will help reduce the number of variables. Like all the factors are not always necessary to be considered. So in order to remove these factors, remove particular data sets, we require a technique which would help reduce the number of variables and only keep the meaningful features that are required for us to predict the future stock prices. So for this, dimensionality reduction technique is used. And in dimensionality reduction, principal component analysis and T-distributed stochastic neighbor embedding are the commonly used techniques which help in the stock market analysis. Moving on to the last technique that we've studied is the reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning algorithms are basically to develop trading strategies that optimize the decision-making process. So what it does is that reinforcement learning focuses on maximum profit, which is required in stock market, and it helps to all the strategies that we follow are optimized here, and the decision-making process is also optimized here as well. Now, techniques such as Q-learning, deep reinforcement learning are used to train agents to make the buy or sell decisions, which we predict on the basis of the historical data and the current market conditions that have been going on. Data visualization. The data visualization technique basically helps in representing complex stock market in a more understandable way. So like we discussed, stock market is like a huge sea. So the most important thing is how the data is actually visualized. Like if we need to study the data, we need an easy visualization of the data so we can consider all of the factors, and the stock market can be complex representing it. So data visualization technique helps us in to portray it in a more understandable and visually appealing manner. And in data visualization, basically we use line charts, candlestick charts, heat maps, scatter plots, etc. So we can also use the Power BI tool by Microsoft, which helps in easy data visualization. It helps in dynamic data visualization, which like we just have to refresh it. We don't always have to add data. It helps to predict the data as well. The data is dynamic. It is not static. Like we can enter the data that is required. And then as and when we require the data of a particular year or anything, that data is displayed. So these were the techniques that we've learned. So in conclusion, we basically learned the popular data science technique used in stock. And the main top data science techniques include classification, regression, and clustering, which is required in stock market as well, as stock market is a very huge sea. So we have to use various data science techniques to help learn the historical data and predict the future data to gain the maximum profit, as it also involves buying and selling of a lot of things as well. These are some of the references that I went through to make the PPT. Thank you.
Are you done with the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, so good presentation, I would say. Really well explained. Each topic was well explained. Okay, it was properly, I would say, put together. Good, and see, your conclusion can be improved because there are a lot of things that you discussed in your presentation, and based on that, your conclusion was quite lacking. Second is that QA slide is there, but again, have a proper QA slide that will be better. Second is that when you are actually explaining something and you have like, this kind of complex topics. So always when you are making the presentation, think that you are going to explain it to someone who is not from the data science group, right? So
Yeah.
only thing I would say, see, your content is really well done. Okay, the content is well put together. Also, the quality is really good. But work on your expression skill, as in like try to simplify it. The more examples you will get, it will be better. Okay, so try to take more examples, then your overall explanation will be much better. Okay, and it will be much more understandable for everyone, right? So work on that part, but keep the content quality that you have. This is like, good quality of content. So just work on your explanation, like simplifying your explanation. Okay? That will be better. Okay, so thank you, Varda. So I don't think anyone else is remaining for the presentation, and we can conclude the session here. We are already done with the Milind's presentation, right, Milind?
Thank you.
I already done my presentation.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll conclude the session here. You guys will get the score in around 30 minutes or 1 hour, or by tomorrow morning 10 a.m. Okay, so we'll conclude here for the day, and I will send this course.